that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend us stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
Okay, and welcome to Talk of the Tavern. Tonight's topic is going to be trendy style. Trendy style. I'll tell you a little more about that in a couple minutes. First, I want to let everybody know it's an adult channel. It's an adult podcast. It's adult topics. We're drinking, we're smoking, we're swearing, and we probably fucked your mother.
Fuck yeah.
There we go. Just letting you know. It's that kind of show, guys. If that's not your thing, what are you doing here? On the other hand, if you like being offended or you just like laughing at stupid shit, you're in the right place. Now,
and that mother thing, all three of us at the same time, even if you're into that.
Well, it all depends if she charges by the person or by the hour. Yeah, by the way, have her call us. Anyhow. Right. We have a live chat audience. If you hear this sound, it means I want to read some comments, though I'll probably just read them without the bell. That's if I need to cut somebody off or something. And for the live chat audience, just so you know, we're recording a podcast here, guys. We're not going to read every single thing you say. Just most of it, especially if we're amused, entertained, or offended by it. Because we're reading that shit. Definitely. Because I don't think we found that yet, have we?
Offended by it? No.
Okay, so I'm Travis Sivart, author and host, author of incredible series such as 27 Thoughts, Super Simple Thoughts, put into one book covering anywhere from how to enjoy life and have no regrets to pipe smoking, podcasting, and more. Check them out. They're available on Amazon. Other than that, let's introduce the most special person in my life, which apparently Goblin right here thinks he is. That's the cat on my lap. But instead, we're going to go to the other black cat of my life, Andrea.
I thought you were going to say Ed.
Spider-Man has black cat. She's white, by the way. Very confusing.
I know, and we cosplayed like middle-aged Spider-Man and Black Cat one year too.
We did.
Hi, Andrea LeChat here, and my advice tonight is tea, which is pretty much always. No knitting tonight. So, now for my black cat, Ed.
Meow, baby, meow. Hey, folks, I'm Ed. I haven't done any of that shit that Travis did, and I'm here talking, eating ham, and drinking Pinot Noir Rosé.
Andrea, do you want to tell them what you call ham?
I call them meat flaps.
Meat what?
Flaps.
Because when you have a nice, thin, spiral cut ham, it looks a lot like vaginal lips.
Flaps of meat.
It's like they put a firecracker in a roast beef.
So for Thanksgiving, we had meat flaps.
That's
and
nasty.
buns.
Yeah, this is my birthday ham.
Yeah, it is.
Nice. It's, okay, by the way, Gary says, fuck your mother. Your courage will never come into question again, sir. Who is that? Andrea with the subscription right here in the middle of the show. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. Here's to your face.
Woohoo!
And by the way,
Yay.
guys, don't forget to go throw a follow on Andrea LeChat right there. She also streams, just not recently, but she just did get a brand new logo that she might be using soon.
Yeah.
So you might find her online.
Just so you guys know, the way I subscribed was with my Amazon Prime. You can do it no cost to you, but it gives the show a little bit of money to keep up and running. So there you go.
By the way, my vices tonight are a little bit of bourbon, and a little bit of vanilla Cavendish from Cornell and Deal in my beautiful Savinelli pipe. No, Kennedy, Andrea does not stream on the Bidet channel. The Bidet channel streams on itself.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Streams on everybody else.
Let's get an opening quote that we can toast to for our opening toast. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Think how really precious is the time you have to spend, whether it's at work or with your family. Every minute should be enjoyed and savored. Earl Nightingale. I don't know who that is, but that's some wise words. What are you drinking there, Ed?
It's a rosé.
What kind? Anything special or great?
No.
Okay.
Rosé is the great.
Okay.
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir and a rosé. Okay.
Or Meiomi, excuse me. I usually have the Meiomi Pinot Noir, excuse me. I have a Meiomi rosé tonight, and yeah. Because that was all I had.
By the way, for all you crazy people in chat, why don't you let us know what your vices are right now, please? And by vices, we mean things you're enjoying by choice to relax and have a good time. Okay, so, trendy style. We have seen style. Some people have natural style. We've discussed presenting your own style on a previous podcast. But what about trendy style, where maybe you see a different decade come back into fashion, or the wearing your pants 8 inches below your waistband, so your underwear. Oh God, I love that look Ed's giving me right now. I got a hard on from that shit right there.
Don't do that.
Or what about tattoos and piercings? What about anything that you could flip open a modern magazine for? Let's talk about the pros and cons of trendy style. In other words, a temporary style that is just fashionable this year. Because I will argue, after you guys get a chance to voice some thoughts, that there is good things and bad things about trending style. Andrea, I see you squinting.
Oh, there's a style that's trending right now, and I really don't like it.
What is it?
It's the ripped up damn jeans.
Now, did this ever
my
go
God.
out of style since the 70s? Because it's kind of like come and gone, ebbed and flowed, but never really went away.
Well, it bothers me now because I like Stitch Fix, but they tend to send trendy stuff, and it's like, I am not spending my good hard-earned money on something with holes in it. When I wash it, it's going to fall apart even more. That's why I have a problem with that trend. I was part of that trend when I was younger because we were poor, and it just happened. So.
But now it's not just jeans. It seems like there's sweaters that are ragged and yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's like you actually paid money for somebody to tear up your clothes before you purchase them.
Yeah, and doesn't make them tear more, quicker, and easier. The fuck.
Well, like the jeans that I got, I cap them because they're very comfortable. So I have to sew patches on them. So it's more work for me. I read this article that.
No, go on.
I read this article that some of the denim companies, they have a pair of jeans and they throw it in with the tigers or the bears or something at a zoo to tear them up, to come up with tear and rip patterns, and then they auction off those jeans and give the money to charity, which is cool, but still.
I'd buy those. I would. Just because I could be like, Simba the tiger ate the crotch out of my pants.
Well,
And of course, it's great for a breezeway.
It's great for the bidet.
That's right. You don't even gonna pull it down. God damn! If you people don't know what we're talking about, you got to check out one of the other episodes. Anyhow, the gift giving episode. What?
So you mentioned you particularly don't care for the jeans that are 8 inches below the waist. I don't like the ripped up stuff. What about you, Ed? What's the one thing?
A friend sent me a video the other day, and I hope this never ever ever becomes a thing. It was playing on the breeches being worn 8 inches below the waist.
Okay.
It was a couple of guys wearing kilts 8 inches below the waist.
But you don't wear anything under the kilt.
Right.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, it was today that I realized, everybody know what the whale tail is. Ed, you know what a whale tail is?
Mm-hmm.
Andrea knows what it is. For anybody who doesn't, it's when a girl is wearing a thong or a G-string and her pants are below that, so you see the whale tail coming up out of her ass crack and across the top of her butt cheeks. I've just realized for most men to do this, they'd have to be wearing a jock strap, but it'd be this really weird whale tail. And I'm like, this is what I think guys need to wear when they're going to wear their pants down below their waist. So you could just see hairy ass cracks sticking. Which, by the way, for my day job, I hire people. I see people of all social stations and classes.
Oh, God.
Gary says whale tail. Not a fan. Wait, are you saying you're not a fan of the whale tail, or or that if it was a jockstrap, it'd be more of a fan than I don't know what you're saying. So anyhow, there's times I have these young kids, or not so young, and they will show up, and I am sitting in a chair, and they're standing in front of me. Now with COVID, you're supposed to be 6 feet away, but they're still like their junk almost pressed on the little plastic window screen thing between me and them. And I can see 4 to 6 inches of their underwear in front of me. And there have been times I'm like, dude, do me a favor. Pull that, and I've sworn while at work, don't tell anybody, but I'm like, pull that shit up till you're not in front of me. I don't want to stare at your junk. This is getting awkward. And it's great to see them get mildly embarrassed as they're like, this dude just told me not to show my junk to him. And by the way, for anybody that's like, this new fashion, that shit is not a new trend. Since the early 90s.
It's funny you said that. My wife and I often will see a commercial come on TV about the latest fashion or something, and we both just look at each other like, well, not going to be in style this year either.
Here's what I'll say. There are times trendy fashions, trendy styles are worth observing. Because first of all, I will pick and choose things I like that fit me and carry them forward beyond once, the trend has gone out of style. Something else that it helps me with is checking modern haircuts. Because I'll get one haircut and stick with that shit for like 20 years.
Yes, same here.
Yeah, exactly. Because, dudes. So every once in a while it helps for me to go look. Now, a few trends that have come and gone many times during my life. Bright stitching on your jean pockets. Remember Jordache jeans, Ed? Andrea? Where they had the bright white stitching on the men's or women's jeans around the pockets?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hate that. Basically any country western wear, especially like those double pockets with the mother of pearl snap buttons and stuff.
Oh, I remember those.
Remember that. That's come and gone multiple times in my lifetime.
Many times.
I see them at the thrift store a lot.
Which, by the way, I mentioned torn jeans in the 70s. In the 70s, it was fashionable to put patches over the tears and have pants with all kinds of patches up and down the legs. Ed, you remember that?
Even if there were no tears. There were no tears.
Yeah. By the way, I remember my first pair of not worn jeans where they're just worn thin, but actually torn. It's because I went down on a motorcycle. Okay, let me rephrase.
Did you burn your lips when you did that?
No, not until they started up. Then they puffed up huge. I looked like Satchmo. Kennedy says, Jordache jeans, Jouache sticks out in those jeans. Ooh la la, saison. Anybody remember that? No?
Oh my god, yeah.
Ooh la la,
Yes.
sazon. Mm-hmm. And now I just want jeans that don't make it look like I shit myself and my drawers are hanging down. I'm like I'm a white man without an ass. Help me out,
Baggy
somebody.
butt, yeah. Oh my god.
So,
Kennedy wants to know if it was an Indian that you went down on.
yeah, it was a New York Jew. Oh, wait, is he talking about the motorcycle or just like that time?
At band camp.
Okay, so trendy styles. One thing Andrea and I have discussed at length over the past, I don't know, 6 to almost 10 years, tattoos
Yeah.
have become super stylish. Probably more than that, because in the first decade of the millennium, tramp stamps became highly popular as a
Oh, yeah.
fashion trend.
Yep.
Kennedy, after my comment about a New York Jew, says Mayor Koch spoke highly of Travis. That was Mayor Crotch to me, mister. He showed me his kosher delicatessen, if you know what I mean. Meat flaps. Anyhow. Moving on. Whew. Hold on.
Tramp
Let me
stamps.
say. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
Yeah. We, Kennedy asked, how many Eds have you? Not all of them. That's all I can say. Joe says, I love the dick jokes. Keep them coming.
But
Yeah, tattoos have become very trendy lately. So before, 10 years ago or so, tramp stamp, along the lower back. Or
Right.
a little butterfly or something on your ankle.
Right.
But now it's like full arms, full sleeves, full, up the neck. Some face tattoos, hands, everywhere. I'm seeing a lot more tattoos on people's feet, which, ow. But, yeah.
Feet tattoos.
Yeah, ooh, because that just
But
painful.
both my goddaughters have tattoos on their feet.
Of what?
See, before,
Something written in some language. I don't know what the fuck it is. They have to tell me every time I see their tattoos.
Does it say
it's like-
eeny,
probably
meeny, miny, toe?
No.
see, before the only people I knew that would get tattoos on their feet were like military. They would get like, I don't remember if it was a
Like
rooster and a pig or something, but I know some of the military, they would get that on their feet because that symbolized something. Anybody know what that was?
Ed's been in like 15 different military branches and he has no clue.
No idea.
Was it in the Navy?
Well, I
In
know
the Navy?
getting a chicken
I think it's a Navy thing.
getting a
Maybe it's
chicken
a chicken.
on your calf with
Mhm.
a noose around it is an old joke of I have a cock hanging below my knee. You want to see it?
Uh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a old dick joke. It's, by the way, if you are old enough, it will naturally hang that low. This water's cold and deep.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, tattoos have definitely become fashion as opposed
you know,
Go ahead.
Andrea mentioned the military. The interesting thing is tattoos in the military really didn't pay any attention to them for years and years and years and years. Now branches of the military are making you cover or wear long sleeves in order to hide your tattoos. And the rest of the society has gone the opposite direction. It's quite odd, strange.
Well, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, the military also, like, if you came in with no tattoos, it was against the rules to get one. People did,
Yeah.
but they turned a blind eye. Is that correct,
Well,
Ed?
everybody. That was one of the things when I went in '83. Now it was way back then. That was one of the things going to get your tattoo, man. You know, whether it was up here or down here or on your hands or wherever. That was one of the things. You got to go get your tattoo to show off that you were in the military.
Andrew, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, what do you think changed that to where now everybody's getting covered with tattoos? I just wonder what triggered that.
I read an interesting article that I shared. Ed, I don't know if you read it. I don't know if I shared it with you. I think I did. By the way, I want to read Kennedy's comment real quick before we get too far beyond. He says, historical fact. In American history, it's the first time that a woman, or that women, are more likely to have a tattoo than men. I don't normally do this, Kennedy, but where are you getting that information? I'm curious. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I will say I tend to think men get more tattoos on their body once they start getting them than most women. Not all women. Definitely not all women. Now I totally lost whatever the hell I was about to say.
Well, I know a lot of women, they get something very small and feminine, like a butterfly or a flower on the ankle or the back of the shoulder or somewhere that was kind of discreet where you didn't really see it
Right.
unless you wanted them to see it, not anymore.
By the way, Gary clarified. In 1987, if you got a tattoo, they would say it's destruction of government property, but did nothing about it. U.S. Army. That's what I was thinking of. Because it was frowned upon. It was discouraged. It was flat out said, you're not allowed to do this, but they didn't do anything about it when you did.
Right. They didn't do anything about it.
Right. They just said, don't.
And yes, Joe, the anchor usually is a representation of a sailor.
So, Ed, did I send you the article about the mouse utopia?
Yes.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Interesting, huh?
Very interesting.
There's some
I think
aspects...
we can do a show on that.
What's that?
We can do a show on that.
We could, but there's some aspects I will not go into on air.
Okay.
I will discuss it off air. But this experiment, in short, is a scientist some 50, 60 years ago went, I'm taking this many mice, putting them in this approximately 10 by 10. Matter of fact, I think it was Joe G89 that gave me this link. Or it was Gang. I think it was Joe, though. Took so many mice in this 10 by 10 enclosure or whatever and gave them all the food and all the thing they needed, no natural predators, and let them breed like crazy. And what they found is that before it peaked to the max population, the population actually started dwindling to the point the whole colony went extinct. But before that happened, the final generation stopped having sex, were grooming themselves. They looked bright, alert, and inquisitive, but they were fucking dead upstairs. And there is a comparison to human society where we have hit a potential point where we're seeing this same thing. And Andrea, this relates back to your question of why so many more tattoos now. I think we have so much free time and money that to rebel against the system that supports us, we're trying to become so individualistic so we're not just meshed in with everybody else as a society. It's a way of breaking away without breaking away and still being able to take society's support by pushing the boundaries of that society.
But hasn't society become a little bit more acceptable today?
A little bit. In different ways. Sometimes the wrong way, sometimes the right way. Sometimes we're still fucking 50 years or 100 years behind where we should be.
Well, what I'm seeing, this is just my option. In the past 5 to 7 years, tattoos, I've seen tattoos really explode and everybody's covered more in tattoos. Before that, it was piercing.
Yeah.
I would see a lot of people with piercings, like multiple. So I guess it's just a progression. I don't know.
So let's go back to the other trends. Trends we see: fashion, Every year, here's some new fashions. By the way, has anybody ever seen the fashion that's on a runway like appear in daily life?
No, and it won't.
Can't say
Minor,
that.
minorly, where they're like, oh, short skirts are in this year. Okay. So we'll
Well,
see that.
with stuff on a runway, that is more like a painting. It is their art.
Yeah.
They're there to express themselves and raise money for charity or whatever the hell they.
Or themselves.
But current, well, not always, but yeah, current fashions play off of it a bit with the colors and some of the cuts and hemlines and things like that. But yeah, the stuff on runways, chances are you will never see that on the street because that's not meant for the.
No, I agree with you. But
Thank
yeah, yeah, really, we don't need the trash bag outfit. Thank you, hefty
Well, I
du
mean,
jour.
look at the Victoria's Secret runway stuff. You don't see it.
Yes, let's. What?
Who's gonna wear like a bra that is studded with diamonds and emeralds? That is not comfortable for everyday wear, people.
No?
If they're gonna
just
pay
saying.
me,
Not for
I
everyday
will
wear.
wear that shit.
Every day, you're like, oh, it's chafing.
As long as the straps are 2 fingers wide, I can wear it to work. I just have to wear a shirt underneath it because I can't have a bare midriff. I mean, unless if I'm stretching for a moment, then you get a little belly showing.
You have to wear the wings with it, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Oh, wow, that took a wrong turn.
So, Ed, do you find any value in trendy style?
For me personally, no.
What about you
Because
aesthetically? Seeing
I am
other
way
people-
out of style. I wear cargo pants or cargo shorts all the fucking time.
You must
Unless I'm wearing a kilt.
You must have been pissed in the past like 5 to 7 years where they quit making them almost for a while.
Oh no, I had so many of them it didn't matter.
Okay.
Didn't matter. I was stocked up.
You know what pisses
Yeah.
me off about cargo pants and cargo shorts? Can they please come up with cargo pants or cargo shorts that don't wrinkle like a motherfucker?
Oh, they do now. They're quite expensive. They're like $50 a pair, but yeah, they have them out there.
That's not necessarily expensive nowadays for a pair of pants, is it?
Yeah, well, true, but
But you know what ones don't? As far as I know, pretty much if you go into your, and I'm going to mispronounce the 3-letter abbreviations. They're not BVDs. They're military and they're used by EMTs. What are they called?
BDUs.
BDUs. Thank you. Okay, by the way, I'm going to read Kennedy's comment here because he responded to something I said earlier. Kennedy says, I'm a board member of the New York 19th Century Society and wanted a speaker about history of tattoos. First look, Bodies of Subversion, A Secret History of Women and Tattoos, the 2013 edition. Here's the reference. Thank you, Kennedy. I really appreciate that, man. I wasn't expecting a link or something. Just that information that you gave before the link was more than enough. It's and I wasn't even necessarily doubting you. I was just curious, where is the resource you're using? So thank you for posting that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's probably an interesting article. It is New York Times for anybody that wants to, whine about the political lean of any given newspaper. And they all have one.
It's become quite fashionable these days.
Well, I think newspapers and news things, we could talk about this fashion. It's actually become open that they're a fucking entertainment industry.
Yes, they are. That's all they are these days.
Yeah, and I think that's what they've been most of history. If not a entertainment industry, then they were a private platform for the people with money who own them to voice and influence their concepts and ideas. All the way back to the induction of the printing press. The printing press became big because now you could print shit to talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
And spread it to a wider audience without standing on a soapbox on the street corner. By the way, for anybody that doesn't know, soap boxes were a literal thing. They were a wooden crate
Oh, yeah.
that soap was packed in and delivered in wood shavings or straw. And you would flip them upside down and stand on that shit to get that extra 12 inches that Ed naturally has. Asshole.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't think you've ever apologized for it before. Why start now? Gary says, I was in high school in the 80s, very wealthy, trendy area. I was surrounded by every style, trend of the time, but was mostly jeans and t-shirt guy and still am. Here's a fun fact. I was Nirvana fashion 3 years before they came into existence. I had the long shaggy hair that hung in my eyes. I had flannel shirts and jeans that were hand-me-downs, a little baggy and a little torn up because I was poor. Chotaku, let me raise a glass to you for continuing that sub. I see you in here all the time. Thank you for continuing that. I appreciate that, man. Here's to you. I call you out once in a while just because I like you. Not for any awkwardness. That just comes naturally and it's bonus. So
Travis, similar to you, back in the 80s, early 80s, there was two of us, two guys I went to school with. Every time we went out somewhere with the chicks, sport jackets with dress shoes and no socks.
Oh.
Don Johnson came out in 1983, and everybody was doing that shit. And I was like, motherfucker, you copied my style.
See, but no socks. Because of teenage sweaty feet or adult sweaty feet. I'm just like, give me some socks.
I knew how to take care of myself. I hit the powder going, man. Okay, you know.
Yeah,
okay.
but not everybody does that, Ed. Okay,
That's true.
not everybody does that.
Sorry, I'm reading a comment here that I'm not necessarily going to read.
There-
But go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, there's a trend that's back. I remember it in the 80s. And they always call it the mom jeans. The mom jeans are back.
Is that the high-waisted ones?
Yeah.
I think
I
they're
do like
sexy as
those.
shit, man. They're sexy, you know, because get this high waist and it tightens up on the waist a little bit, and then you come around to the booty. Pow! They're sexy as shit, man.
See, I like them, but it makes the butt seem elongated and banana-like, and that's weird to me.
It's still butt.
You know what? Maybe if it's a nice round butt, it's different.
Oh, you like big butts, and you can't not lie, huh?
I appreciate a good figure. You know, it's when people like when what was the one song? Oh damn it! Really, I can't think of it. Blonde chick singing about it's okay. They'll love you like you are. Damn it! Really. All about the bass.
Oh, Megan Trainor, yeah.
Yeah, Megan Trainor.
And there's a point in time where she says, you skinny chicks don't know where it's at. I'm just kidding. Y'all think you're fat, but we're beautiful like we are. Which, by the way, she got slammed for skinny
Got
shaming.
famous and lost a lot of weight. Yep.
My point is, I can appreciate anybody, and it's the confidence behind how they look.
I noticed how you threw in the word behind there.
You like that? I'm glad you could back me up. See what I did there? On that one. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can have what society considers beautiful, the best figure, but if you're an asshole, it's on.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's about the butt, not about the asshole. Get it right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, don't get cheeky. Or do get cheeky.
But
See, that's why I said Ed is sassy earlier.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about trendy styles. I'm never really trendy.
Well, you liked
I
it
just
when
wear what I like.
when damn it, I've lost my the hillbilly 50s. What's it called? Andrea, help me out here. Red.
I have no idea what you're talking
The
about.
night. What's that? What, Ed?
Hillbilly 50s?
No.
Go on.
The 1950s look that came back in the early 2000s. But it was kind of punk. At the same time, it was retro 50s. So a lot of the women had rolled up jeans. They would have the
Rockabilly.
rockabilly. Thank you.
Yeah.
You like that? And there's a
Said Hillbilly.
I couldn't think of what the fuck it was called. Kennedy says, I once wore the sleeveless shirts in the 80s because I was weightlifting and jacked, and a friend wanted to stand with me at the bar. No sleeves, help me, dude. He scored on my arms. See, that's when you have those kind of arms. Fucking rock that sleeveless shirt. It's, for that matter, there's points in time where men, well, okay, you know what, let me say this. Women in a white tank top, like a white men's undershirt tank top.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have the body for it and you're a dude, fucking wear that shit. It looks good. And this is where I'm saying I can appreciate a good figure. I don't care if it's men or women. I don't want to put my penis in you, but I love to look at it because it's a dazzling image.
Yeah.
Ed's still on the women in the white tank tops. This is one thing. Ed and I used to stand in DMV and just stand near each other and sigh in unison as spring appeared because it would be white tank tops. It was a beautiful month. Thank you, April. Which was the month
Kennedy
Andrea was born. Yeah. This is why Andrew and I got together. I'm like, you ever want to wear one of my tank tops to bed? It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I have my own.
Yeah. That's right.
I do.
But rockabilly was a blend of fashion that kind of came back in, and it was a style. And you appreciate it because it had elements you liked. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes trendy style can bring an element back.
Mm-hmm.
Or a new element that you appreciate because it's something done differently that you haven't seen before.
Well, yeah, I'm not really trendy, but I do like certain types of things. Right now I'm wearing those high-waisted pants.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah, they're men's pants.
You know what?
I bought... Huh?
No, go on. Finish your story, and then I've got something to add to this.
Okay, I bought this 3-piece suit for my son. He's a tall, lanky fella. Well, he didn't want it. So I tried on the pants. They're pinstripe. They fit me great. They're high-waisted on me because they're dudes, because I don't have the package in the front, so they just come up higher. Got that. This top, Stitch Fix. This, thrift store. Hey, I'm not trendy, but
Andrea,
I like it.
You put on that
Yes.
white tank top and some suspenders with those pants. Oh, man. Look at
I
Ed.
have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Now, this was also popular in the 80s. I want to say, was it Madonna did this for the Dick Tracy soundtrack? Or maybe Janet Jackson did this? There was a few performers, musicians, females, that used this style for a couple of videos. Hot. Just, it's sexy. I think Billy Joel had some chicks dressed like this at some point in time in a video. I don't remember. Kennedy says, I worked at Liz Claiborne corporate in the 90s, and the women, wow, they knew how to rock the fashion. And I think that's what it is. I think it's when you take a fashion, and it's not about the trend, it's about you wearing it instead of it wearing you.
Yeah, see. That's why I don't wear that stuff.
See, I have people come in here, a lot of guys actually, maybe women, but they're not as vocal as the men. The men see me in my retro kind of bowling shirts, my 1950 style, with the mustache and the pipe, and they're like, oh my God, you have so much style. And I'm like, I have no style. I'm a dork that grew into my skin and stopped giving a fuck. Ed, you have
Well, I have done it. I mean, back in the day, Donna Karen, DKNY, I loved her stuff. I
Is
just
that what
loved
that
it so
means?
much.
I thought it was an abbreviation for Donkey Kong, like an airport code.
No, Donna Karen, New York. It wasn't just because it was fashionable. It was just like good-looking clothes.
Yeah.
And well, I looked good in it. So back then, probably not so much now.
We all grow up and we all grow out.
But another fashion, you talk about the men's tank top on women's back in the day. Another fashion that I like. Remember when women were wearing men's boxer shorts?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. That worked for me. That never should have stopped.
Well, also in the 80s, they did a lot in the movies of the women wearing the men's button-up shirts as pajamas. And since then, I've met women who will almost apologize. Oh, I wore your shirt. And I'm like, fucking wear that shirt. It's good. It's good for me.
Yeah, random women come up to him and be like, I wore your shirt.
And I'm like, who let you in the closet? Who let you out of the closet? Wait, are we allowed to ask that anymore? Anyhow, moving on.
No, probably not.
Well, so, as far as men's fashion, some stuff I really like that you don't see anymore. I love the solid colored dress shirt with a different color collar and around the wrist
Right.
with the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I love that. That's kind of like you guys with the women in the white tank top.
You know what else Andrea likes? Believe it or not,
Wait a minute,
guys.
take that.
Sock garters.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you listening
Yeah.
to the podcast, she just blushed and put her hand over her mouth.
Oh my god.
You know
quit
what,
doing
Ed?
that.
I don't care about them either way, but if she likes them, I will fucking wear them.
After I left the Corps, I swore I'd never wear that shit again.
One thing I do like that the military has that we've lost, it was a 1930s through 50s, almost 60s fashion, and that's those garters that attach to men's socks and the tails of their shirt, because it
They
keeps
still
your
have those.
shirt tucked in. I have a pair.
Hmm?
But it's one of those things, and I don't necessarily like it for fashion reasons. I like it because it keeps my shirt tucked in instead of it bulging up. I have a natural muffin top. I don't need my shirt to accent that shit. It's hold on, I'm reading a quick comment here. Okay, Kennedy, we're just gonna let that one roll. It's
There you go.
So my point is about the trendy style, and we'll start the wrap up now with some closing thoughts.
Clothing thought.
I see what you did there.
When it comes to trendy style, pick and choose. Find what you like to look at. Find what looks good for you, and take it and claim it. And then continue that shit forward, because there's somebody out there that appreciates it. Men with long hair was something that was in fashion through the late 80s, almost to 2000, a little after. And it's kind of gone out of style. But the bottom line is, realize what looks good on you, what works with you, with your body type, with your personality, with your style. And pick and choose. And pull out what works for you from the trends. And remember, like Ed and I discussed, there's times where we started a trend, especially those poor motherfucker trends. And, yeah, you don't think they didn't wear socks initially because they were trendy. They wore them because they couldn't afford them. It's, what's your guys' closing thoughts on these?
Silence. Yeah, I shot my wad.
Yeah, you did.
Speaking of
No,
socks,
Hey, how you doing? I talked to a woman at work who's got teenage boys. And she's like, I'm almost afraid to wash her socks. By the way, today at work, during our little group online meeting, they're like, oh, anybody have, anything great happen this weekend? And everybody threw something. Well, different people threw things out. Later, she admitted, after the meeting was done, because we were in the same room, she's like, all of my kids did their own laundry today. And she has, ranging from 6 to 13. And I'm like, that's a milestone. As a parent, it's worth announcing that shit. We get it. We feel you. All your kids did their own laundry this week. But she was almost embarrassed to mention that. I'm like, you should have, because we get that one.
understandable.
Mm-hmm. Andrea, any closing thoughts or recap on this?
You don't have to go along with the latest trend. See what works for you and go from there.
Because you could be the next trend.
Yeah.
Just don't expect any fucking credit for that shit. Okay, let's do a wrap up here. Let's remind everybody that you can email us at talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com, talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. Let us know what your fashion trends are, what you like to tell somebody else, a birthday wish or a special day for you, a special event for you, or topics you'd like to hear us talk about. Also want to
We'll
thank...
talk about it.
We probably will. Well, unless it's a dumbass thing, then we're so ignoring your ass. Want to thank Chitaku for that subscription, everybody else who subscribed and threw bits, such as Good Gang, Joe, and Ed, who threw bits or subscribed or gave gift subscriptions. Definitely appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers that hung out in the live chat for this show. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate that, as well as our folks on Patreon like Triple U and Ethan Strauss, as well as our folks on PayPal like Musical Wizardry and Berta that support us with a subscription every single month here at the tavern. Here's to you, ballsy motherfuckers. Thank you. Closing toast. I'll do two of them. First of all, when it comes to the trendy fashion, be you. And if you see something you like, claim it, own it, wear it. Don't let it wear you, because then it's not the cool you think it is. Other than that, from Groucho Marx, those are my principles. If you don't like them, well, I have others. Okay, let's do some closing music. We are out of here, guys. Thank you for joining us. We will catch you next time on Talk of the Tavern. Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day, and steamy dreams every night.
She go. She back.